Yeah, never heard of him.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
This is Pat, and today he teaches me how to make a Fiddle Bow bread knife and tells us a surprisingly positive story about an influencer.
Did you know him? No, Shane?
I know of him, yeah.
Yeah, never heard of him.
Yeah.
Never heard of him. Somebody messaged me at 11 o'clock at night to say, is that your bread knife that James Kavanagh is cutting a bagel with? I said, right, who's James Kavanagh? So I looked and I put two and two together. There was a little shop along Glenbeigh, a lovely little cafe, Emily's.
Okay.
He bought it there. So in fairness to him, I messaged him. I said, James, is it okay if I throw that whole story across onto mine? He said, hang on a second. He went onto my website, found the link for the bread knife, posted it back onto his story, and 70 orders later,
Wow.
in 10 hours. 70 bread knives, and I had two made.
You had two made at the
Two
time.
made, yeah.
So you were
Oh my
getting a
God.
bit of a kick up the arse there.
Everything stopped. This is what's called a Fiddle Bow bread knife. I think the name is just in the shape of it.
Yeah.
An indigenous crowd in America, they're called the Appalachians. They make all of their kitchen utensils out of timber. It's amazing how you can get sideswiped, you know, by somebody like that. And he's brilliant, that was nothing to him. It was thousands for me.
Yeah. And that's even better because it wasn't you.
Absolutely, no, and I have never paid or influenced an influencer to promote me. Fair
Yeah.
to him, you know, he didn't have to do it.
What woods are you making these out of?
Oak and walnut, people like Dakar neutral,
Yeah.
you know.
So, wanting to learn a bit more about how Pat got started woodworking, he took me for a little wander around his local town of Kildorrery and shared the history of the first Cow and Gate creamery in Ireland, which later sold to Dairygold. Little side note, I recently saw Chris Spargo's video about these old benchmarks, which are used by surveyors to calculate elevation. Anyway, the traffic to the creamery brought customers to Pat's family's butchers, but unfortunately, when he was 25,
I found my father dead in the field. The stick was in his hand and the whistle was around his neck. So that's a blackthorn stick that a fellow would have made for him. Always remember, we buried him. And suddenly, I'd have to run a butcher shop in a farm now. I hadn't a clue. I had to go into a mart to buy an animal. I'd ask him where to sell the cattle.
but eventually the creamery closed, and so too the butchers. But this was an opportunity for Pat to change gears and set up a bit of a workshop in the abattoir. Now all that he needed was a name.
When you have licensed premises in Ireland, like butcher shops, you need a licence by Cork County Council.
Yeah.
And my licence number was CK53.
Okay.
CK53, so that's
Okay.
why the name of the business. Around 2010, I knew what to get out of there.
Yeah.
Too cold, and I built this guy. Everything is fully insulated. The walls, floor, ceiling, fully insulated. Insulated roller door. I actually put a stove in the corner that I use all my wood shavings. It's a special stove for burning wood shavings. Now, believe it or not, this is clean. I did a big clean this morning before you came, so this is clean, right?
I almost prefer when people don't clean.
Well,
You see the natural.
well, my natural environment is only one word, and it's chaos. It
Yeah.
is utter chaos. The best thing I made, John, was just this little caddy here.
Yeah.
So inside here is all the things that I use every day,
Yeah.
and it's there. So I do have a habit of putting everything back into that. This is my favourite. When I was 5, I got a Meccano set.
Wow.
And that's all that I've left. I've had that, I'm 54 now. I remember getting my Meccano set when I was 5. I remember there was a little motor, you made a little racing car. I can remember it like yesterday. I should have copped it back then that's what I love to do.
Yeah.
But it took me 50 years, I'd say, to figure it out. I went to college, like I might have mentioned there, doing engineering, hated it, absolutely hated it. But at the same time then I could come home and take a radio apart and see why is it, what fixed, you know, I was into that. The woodwork only came about when I had the business. We had a bit of a farm.
Yeah.
And I had to make a door below on the farm to close a hole in a shed, and I couldn't weld. And I got out my 4x2s, bought a saw. That was it.
You had a door.
That was it. That was the start. So when I came home, I closed the business. I started working for my brother in Middleton for another 13 years. But the woodworking started to get very busy while I was down there. The day before lockdown, I told my brother, I'm off, and came home, the whole country shut down. My wife nearly divorced me. She nearly divorced me, and here I was, first week in October, no income. She was working, and lockdown. So Facebook, I put up a product on Facebook, a little set of reindeer, and I got sales for 600 or 700 sets of them. It just went. People started to support locally. Remember that? Took the pressure off me for 5 or 6 months after that, and it allowed me to tweak and build. And all of a sudden, then I started to get contacts from online retailers. Still locked down, would I supply them? And I did showcase in Dublin then 1 year, and I got a load of shops. That side of the business, wholesale, is going to be difficult now because of rising costs. I've pulled back a little bit from wholesale. I'm not actively looking for it. I still have a few shops I supply. The Irish Design shop in Dublin, I don't know you aware of them. Fantastic customers. Purely because they buy a bit of bulk, you know, and it is worth my while producing a bit of bulk for them and a couple of more shops.
What does a bulk order look like roughly?
Say my robins, they could order 50 of them.
Okay.
And I do a butter knife. They could order 30 or 40 of them. So what they like to do as well is they like to collaborate with makers, making, and I like to do that, a product that is bespoke to that shop.
You can only get it there.
Yes. They're doing a river series where I'm making an otter, a salmon and a kingfisher. They'll be like this height, they'll be made from oak, and their pre-order from them is about 100. This is 12 months now, over and back. I have a laser engraver, so what I'm able to do is that I can actually laser engrave the features of the animals on the timber, and then I cut it out, and they do the packaging, and they'll retail, and I'll be allowed to retail them. I love that kind of work, and believe it or not, oak is one of the most expensive timbers at the moment. It goes in trends and cycles. Oak seems to be where it's at the moment. So we have the main part done. So what we're going to do now, Sean, we're going to round over the edges. Okay, over on the router table. I put a very heavy round over on them. Unfortunately, that's the timber I have to use. You get a lot of people that come and they have a fallen tree. I'm not into that. Like the wood tunnels, you do a bit of wood tunnels? Yeah, you might be into that, the green timber. For me, no good. I'd have to take that, plank it, dry it, you know, the process.
That's the whole thing on its own.
Yeah. I don't do it much anymore. Somebody changes their old teak door. I've taken 1 or 2 of them and I can make them beautiful chopping boards out of them. You get the odd person will bring a branch and I'll make a few hanging robins for a lady that lost her mother, and I do stuff like that. Do you remember the old toy chests we used to get long ago? Gary Welch is an old builder here that died. And his sister brought this up, and this would have been Gary's old, and he wrote his name in it, Gary Welch. But I don't know. I'm looking at this and I don't know, what can I do with it? I was thinking about just taking this out.
Can you repair it? Like, is that what you're trying to do?
She gave it to me, that could be one option. Remake it with something, I don't know, will I put that behind Perspex in a new box? But these are the jobs I find hard to say no to, but I'm now getting to the stage in August, September, I'm in Christmas mode. I have to start. The outdoor chairs, all that stops now. I'm in production mode for shops and for the couple of markets I do. Sometimes you have to do them because when you're in what I would call production mode here, it gets quite, it gets bored. It doesn't it?
You need almost a bit of both.
You do, yeah. So I come out here and I might have to make, the big robins I make, I batch them out. I might have to make 60 or 100 of them. You take off your brain, put on a good bit of LCD sound system or something, and just get it done. Unfortunately, you created a necessary evil, you know, and you have to do it. Production runs are hard, and I can see it in all the potters and all that. I suppose production runs are the bread and butter in any business, right? And the 4 or 5 core products that I make are the bread and butter of the business. The cream then is the commissions, the chairs, stuff like that, the odd thing that people brings in. Not so much done that they make me a lot of money, but I suppose they just keep the brain from freezing. I suppose it gives me a little bit of motivation to keep going.
What percent of your orders do you reckon at the moment are online versus large wholesale?
I have an awful lot of work to do to still promote online. I'm having difficulties with Facebook at the moment because my account got hacked 4 or 5 months ago. They know it was hacked, but whoever hacked it misbehaved and I'm blocked. When I put up social media posts, I tag Instagram and Facebook are my 2 markets. I have nothing on Facebook at the moment, and it definitely is.
It's impacting.
It is, yeah. Yeah. So wholesale is still my biggest one. I really need to turn my wholesale into direct sales, website sales.
Yeah.
I really do,
Yeah.
because that's the cream.
Yeah.
You know, it's obvious, you know, that's
Without
where.
the commission on top.
Correct, yeah. Like, you want to keep some few bits for yourself too,
Yeah.
you know, unique to yourself. I'm prototyping little, for Christmas again, little elves. You know, I got scraps of timber.
Decorations.
A bit of work on them. I know for a fact I'm going to be hit left, right and centre with wholesale for them now. And I won't be able to offer it to them. Again, maybe in a year or two's time when if I get into a production run on them and figure out how I can make, like, I don't want to be making 50 or 60 of them a day. I need to get my labour costs down. I'm nowhere near that with these because they're still slow. And whereas the robins, the bread knives, I can
get them out.
I can get them out. That's the trick in the production run at wholesale. The volume you can produce in one given day. That's the trick. The timber, you get over. But if you can make enough of them in the day, you can still make money.
Or what percentage of your time do you spend making versus doing the businessy stuff? Talking to people, doing the website, doing social media?
I'm not very disciplined in my hours. I have a habit of, I have the phone connected to the watch and all of that. I take no calls much anymore during the day. I learned that from my wife. She might ring me. I have to turn off the bandsaw, turn off the dust extractor, switch on, and she'll ring and she says, any news?
Yeah.
I go, fuck. So I take no calls. So when I'm out here, I'm here. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing more website traffic. The likes of James Kavanagh, like I got a couple of hundred new followers.
Yeah.
You can assume that half of them will order the reindeer. You know, that simple little post will make me quite a few bob at Christmas. I know that already.
Now that that's happened, would you consider paying an influencer to do the same?
I'm a stubborn old mule, kind of a guy. What I have done is, who has bought, again out of the blue, is Alison Curtis. She's on Today FM. Great promoter of Irish craft. She saw my reindeer, just text me out of the blue. I don't know where she saw him. And I have sent her the odd bits, but she gave me, I'll always remember 3 years ago, Christmas was on Friday, I think. She put me on the radio on the previous Sunday for 3 minutes, talk about my products. In 4 hours, I made €2,500. I had to shut the web, and my wife was hyperventilating to a bag, you know, there was stuff coming left, right and centre, and I was cleaned out at this stage, so close to Christmas. Wow. I got nervous then, I shut the website down, took everything out of stock by 5 o'clock, and I went to work. I actually worked through the night making robins. Like, I often put up a story here about make a bread knife, hits very few people. You know, you have few people that are into it. But yeah, you're going back to the influencer thing. I mean, like, this guy with one sentence made me that much money, like, and didn't look for a bob, you know. If I sent him a free Adirondack chair, would I get orders for 10 of them?
Who knows?
You know, who knows? You see,
That's a different
you're at a different level there then, aren't you? I have.
It's a lot easier for someone to spend a few bob and a little knife.
Correct. The reindeer have travelled the world.
Really?
And the butter knife, they've been I would say most countries in Europe, Australia, America. Yeah.
Are they Irish people abroad, do you think?
Yeah. And we get a lot of Irish people that will contact me, and with the laser engraver, I can say on the little reindeer, I can engrave the names on them, the family, and personalise it. And they'd say, put in a note and ship it, there's the address.
So, big thanks to Pat for the chat and teaching me how to make a Fiddle Bow bread knife. Check out his website or the Irish Design Shop for some fantastic Irish made gifts. Links to all are in the description. And please give this video a like. It really helps small channels like mine.